arrived back with a cheating snake.
Next Wednesday.
Post-observation indicated severe abdominal pain. Patient later found unresponsive.
It's a night of investigations.
I found evidence that can help us sue for malpractice.
Introductions.
Yo, girl!
I'm a free man now. And escalations.
Man up, Jack. Man up.
I'm not meant to be in America.
What are you doing here? Get out now.
Tyler Perry's Sistas. All new next Wednesday at 9. Watch it.
All right, everyone. So we just saw the trailer for next week's episode, season 9, episode 5. Heavy is the crown. As Sabrina confronts her betrayers, I'm not going to go off. I do not care. And Andy digs into a grave case. Karen sinks deeper into postpartum struggles, while Danny, Fatima, and Zach face unexpected turns that test their limits. So, I can't lie. And this isn't a complaint, more so just an observation of the way the show's been advertised so far this season. These trailers aren't trailering like they used to. And you're like, Jeremy, what do you mean? I know the trailers don't always reveal everything, but typically when I look at the 32 second end credit scene at the end of an episode, next on Sistas, and then I watch the 30-second trailer that drops during commercial breaks, there's typically, give or take, 2 or 3 scenes which are either expansions on the end credit trailer or new scenes that I'm like, oh, that wasn't in the end credit promo. I can't wait to see how that's going to play out come next week. But that's not the case here. I mean, I'm looking at my notes and I don't even have a third of a page of notes because the trailers are all but the same. Just wanted to let you know this trailer breakdown might not be incredibly long unless I find some talking points here. But yeah, I enjoyed episode 4 a lot more than I did. So perhaps episode 5 will go ahead and surprise me as well. But I wanted to mention that there is something coming up tomorrow on August 8th around noon on East Coast time. I'm going to be on another YouTube channel for an interview with another fan of Tyler Perry content. And this will be Faith is the Substance. So that's a YouTube channel where I'll be doing an interview. Once it is done, I will be sure to share it across social media so you can check it out for yourself. I'll also make a point to leave a link in the community tab or the post tab on my channel. That way you can all look at it as well. So be on the lookout for that either tomorrow. Well, when I share the link either tomorrow or over the weekend, depending when Faith will release the interview. So I just wanted to put that out there. And this particular episode here, let me go ahead and knock out the Sabrina stuff first. Let's just get that out of the way. Who in their right mind would get back with a cheating snake? What? Again, you're broken up. You broke up with Rich before he and Penelope hooked up. And then Rich is like, look, what happened between me and Penelope was nothing. And then Penelope makes her way into the office somehow. And then we have Sabrina screaming, what are you doing here? Get out now. And you got Maurice and Paige in the door looking in. That's all I have to say about that. I'm not going to go on a tangent. I don't care. If you haven't, check out my episode 4 review, because I had a segment in there where I talked about what could have been done with Sabrina's character to make her story arc way more interesting for this season. I'll give you a little tidbit. We know that she found out from the clinic that, Damani's sperm would yield boys, when matched up with her eggs and embryos and whatnot. So she wasn't sure how to feel about that, simply due to the fact that she felt bad, having a moment of celebration, given what Karen's going through. But Maurice reminded her to take a moment to enjoy the victories while you can, since they're so few and far between. And I was thinking that an interesting story beat for her this season could have been like, okay, season 7 and 8, I want to be a mom, I want to get pregnant. But then in season 9, after witnessing firsthand one of her own, friends going through a pregnancy, giving birth, but unfortunately losing one of her children, Sabrina might have second thoughts about becoming a mother, not because she doesn't want children, but what if something happens to her and then she finds herself in a situation like Karen, where she was excited to be a mom, but then ended up losing her baby during labor. And I feel like that could have been an interesting dynamic for the character to second guess, because that's pretty much been the staple of Sabrina as a character, being indecisive, second guessing and whatnot. But this could have made a lot more sense. And I feel like this would have been 1,000 times better than simply having her in this whole mess with Rich. It just makes no sense. Now we go over to the airport, and in episode 4, and look, I could be wrong about this, but I'm really only going off of the trailer, so I don't really know. Tony stepped to Danny mentioning how, hey, I quit. Aren't you happy? Aren't you excited? And it's like, I took your advice. I listened to you. And Danny's like, wait, out of all the advice I've given you, that's the one thing you listen to, that you hang on to. I mean, some people I saw, I think either during the live stream or on Twitter, they were like, see, Tony, there you go again, not listening to what Danny says and whatnot, in reference to the whole doing something without Danny knowing about it, just to call back to the whole signing her up for that leadership program. I don't agree with that. And I am not blaming Danny for Tony making the decision he did. He chose to do that. Now, it was either go to Alaska for about a year or so and keep his job, or quit his airline job and, being as qualified as he is, look for another one in the ATL area so they can be together. But I remember saying that I don't know how that's going to really fly, pun intended, considering, yeah, he's experienced and whatnot. He was VP of the airline, but that probably won't make a difference, considering once he's asked, why did you leave your former place of employment? And obviously they'll ask for references. And once, the airline gets reached out to, they will have to say, well, it was due to, inappropriate conduct with an employee and whatnot. So especially in the day and age we live in now, I don't think Tony would be able to bounce back with a career with the same amount of, position and money, given that fact. That's just how I'm looking at it. Now, in terms of Tony being excited and whatnot, he had the envelope in his pocket, which seemingly was his letter of resignation, I believe. But we have this moment that has me scratching my head as to whether or not Tony really quit. Because I believe we see airport employee approaching Danny's counter, and has a box with like a table lamp and whatnot, seemingly giving Tony his things, and Tony looks a bit surprised. So I don't know if this is a sign that Tony quit his job or Tony got let go. Because I'm thinking about, my previous jobs, where if someone left of their own, free will, like, hey, I'm putting in my notice or I got a better job, they are able to clean out their desk or cubicle themselves. The only times I've seen people have their items brought to them in a box by security or, another person in the department is when they were let go. They were called into the office and let go. So I'm thinking Tony might have gotten fired as opposed to quitting. That's, again, just my opinion. And now we meet a new character named Brock, who is apparently Danny's cousin. Yo, cuz, what's up? I'm free now, which could indicate that he was possibly in jail, or he's free as in maybe he got a divorce, but given that this is Danny, probably jail. So we get a new character next week. At first, with the shades, I thought it was Dwayne Martin, but no, it's a different actor. So from there, we go over to the law firm, and Andy's been doing some research. And apparently, she was reading the files on a Dr. Cruz patient in terms of her needing medical attention, but then turns out that she ended up being unresponsive. And then when she tells Fatima about the fact that she came across some incriminating evidence that could lead to her seeking a lawsuit against the hospital for malpractice, Fatima's like, wait, isn't that stuff supposed to be confidential? And Andy's like, oh, well, I cut some corners to get the information. So it looks like she is working on a case to sue the hospital for Karen, which, hey, I'm down for this. Give Andy a storyline like this where we're able to see her as a competent attorney using her skills. And then to round things out, we go over to Karen's apartment. Miss Lisa and Aaron are discussing the situation at hand and, the fact that Karen's shutting down. We actually get a moment where she does get out of bed, and it seems that she's standing over Faith's crib and she's breaking down. And then we switch to her in bed again. This is probably before she even manages to get out of bed. I'm not fit to be a mother, or I'm not meant to be a mother. And that could be one of two things, Is she going through the depression of, I'm not meant to be a mother because she feels guilty over losing one of her babies? And that's why she feels like, I'm not meant to be a mother. It's like, I wasn't even able to successfully give birth. How am I going to make it as a mother? Because I lost one of my children. Or on some level, is it because she doesn't want to be a mom because it's not Zach's baby that made it? And I know some people might get annoyed for me constantly bringing it up, but I'm basing this off of the Karen we've seen show her ass for the past several seasons, regarding being adamant that it's Zach's baby, not wanting Aaron's baby, and this, that, and the third. But the thing is, a baby isn't like what they said, like a baby isn't like a jacket you bought from the store and then you decide you don't want it and you try to take it back for a return. That baby's here to stay. And that's why I said, like, I don't think Karen should be a mom anytime soon, because she has to work on herself a lot more before she's properly able to be a mother and give a child the necessary love and attention, because right now she's a hot mess, postpartum and grief. Makes sense. I get it. But I'm just looking at the way she's moving now in conjunction to how she was during the pregnancy. But hopefully she gets out of this funk. Like, maybe she says this when she's still, the scene where she's in bed, but then eventually she gets up out of the bed on her own. And then when she's looking at Faith, she breaks down, which I feel like could be her taking in the beauty of her child, that kind of thing. And unfortunately, when we switch over to Zach, he's in a funk. He has some, fast food and some liquor, or, look, I'm not a drinker, but he has alcohol on the table. It's like, man up, Zach, man up. And I felt so bad because he's alone. And this is the plight of a lot of, men. We are just told, hey, buck up, man, like, get over it, be strong. But he needs to address his feelings because there's a lot going on for him right now. So when it comes to Zach, I really wish there was a cameo or something from Nate or Preston or, Tony, because Zach needs somebody right now. Yes, I know Fatima's there for him. Yes, I know, but it doesn't hurt to have some friends around too. Just saying. But I believe that is everything I have to say. And turns out this trailer breakdown is longer than I thought it'd be. But yeah, this was pretty decent trailer. I just wish they gave us some more stuff. As of right now, it's like, 2:30 p.m. on Thursday. So I don't have any information. I don't know if BET dropped an article detailing next week's events like they typically do. But with that being said, as always, I appreciate the support here on the channel. I wouldn't be able to maintain, the career path of a full-time YouTuber without your support. So if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. And show me that you appreciate the video by hitting the thumbs up button. That way the algorithm knows to push it out there. Comment your thoughts. All those little things go a long way in putting the video out there. And also subscribe. Remember, we are less than 4,000 people away from 300,000 subscribers. I'm trying to hit that milestone before my birthday on August 29th. And I know I can do it with your help. Heck, I have no doubt in my mind this particular video might get like 15 or 20,000 views. But a majority of the people watching have not subscribed. So if a mere fraction of you hit that subscribe button, heck, we could hit 300K by next week. So with that being said, if you come across any more information about this episode before it drops, feel free to send it my way. I mentioned this during my live stream last night. I don't really see myself doing like a bunch of videos based off of this trailer or the episode from last night. I mean, there really isn't too much to talk about, but, you know, I'll come up with ideas as the week goes on. So once again, I appreciate you all and have a good one.